Alright, I decided to do some computer work. I am going to officially try to run a script that is from Mr. Chromebox.tech. It's called the firmware utility script, which should and will, if everything goes well, allow me to remove Google Chrome off of this HP 14 Chromebook with a Falco motherboard, install basically a UEFI BIOS, which should allow me to install Windows or Linux, a full operating system other than Chromebook. Once I do this, there's really no way to go back and use Chromebook, which is fine with me because this Chromebook is out of date, and Chromebook usually only pushes updates for 6.5, though in 2020 or something like that, they said they would do it for 10 years. So if you buy a Chromebook, you're only going to get updates for 10 years, you're screwed. You can't do anything else with it for the most part. But since there's so many Chromebooks out there, and they do make a lot of good Chromebooks that are pretty much standard PCs and they have good hardware in them, there are people out there that develop and try to make them useful again. And that's where you want to go, is Mr. Chromebox.tech. They only work on x86 64-bit operating systems. No ARM architecture is supported. So you really want to go to Mr. Chromebox.tech, look for supported devices. It will give you, my internet's running slow here right now. It will give you a list of all the supported devices. Mine was officially supported, but it had write protection on the actual Chromebook. The write protection that was on this Chromebook, I had to remove the bottom cover and remove a screw that grounded out the write protection for it to be enabled. I already went through this laptop. If you go through my YouTube, you can find the video, or a couple videos. I made a few shorts of me actually removing the screw and how to get inside this Chromebook properly. Well, not really properly, but I did it and I showed you. And I mentioned things you should look for and how to go about it a professional way. So that's done. I already went to DistroWatch, which is way back here. So there we go. So I went to DistroWatch, which is where I usually go for the top 100 listed Linux distributions. They list them right here for the past 6 months. You can change different filters or whatnot. They're always changing, moving back and forth, but they always list the top 100. I'm a big Ubuntu Debian fan. I use Fedora, Red Hat. There's a lot of stuff I know and do. I decided to go with Kali Linux because it is it's Debian based, which I'm familiar with Debian based, but it has a collection of security and forensic tools, like networking tools, data recovery, you name it, it's got it. It's developed by Offensive Security and the FBI. It is completely 100% free. I torrented it. If you don't know what torrent is, you can go ahead and figure that out. I'm sure if you're a computer person, You already know what torrenting is. This is basically what the operating system kind of looks like out of the box. If you do download Kali Linux on the Windows machine, if you download it as an ISO image, which I have, your virus scanner, like Microsoft Defender, is going to go crazy because of the software that's written inside of the ISO file, disk image file. It's going to scan it, and it's going to think that it's attacking your computer. It's not. There are just a lot of tools that are pre-installed in the ISO image, the operating system, that I like to use. So you might want to turn antivirus off. I do recommend using Rufus to write to the USB, which I already have. With Chromebox, Mr. Chromebox said that you might want to, you plug in the device, a flash drive, it'll pop up right here. It's going to ask you your disk or image, ISO image, which you're going to navigate to where you're, whether it's in your download folder or desktop folder, select the ISO image. It's going to ask you if you want, what kind of partition scheme, target scheme. For the most part, leave everything normal. In the file system is FAT32, that's fine, or NTFS, that's fine. I usually just leave everything fine, like the way it is. For the most part, it works. Sometimes with Linux distributions, depending on the Linux distribution, when you go to hit start to format the USB flash drive, it will ask you if you want to use the standard or a disk drive image. Mr. Chromebox says, depending on the device, you probably will want to use disk drive image for the most compatibility. I don't think I'm going to run into any issues, so I just left it alone. We're going to see how it goes. If not, I might have to reformat the disk drive. So I went to Mr. Chromebox. They're downloaded the scripts. That's what it's called, scripts-main right here. Once I installed the operating system on the flash drive, I just copy and pasted this folder onto the disk drive, which I have it installed here. When you turn on the laptop, you have to put it in developer mode, which as soon as you turn it on, you got to hit Control-D. It's going to go ahead and turn on developer mode. It's going to take you a few minutes. You're going to see a little bar loading on top. It takes about 5-10 minutes to fully convert to developer mode. Once you do that, it boots. Every time you have it on developer mode, you have to hit Control-D. I'll show you. Let's shut down. Oh, why is thing so long? It's never took this long to turn off. It's odd. Paid $30 for this laptop, or Chromebook, I should say. Alright. You have to hit Control-D. Oh. You guys didn't really see that screen real quick. Let's try it. Let's see what happens again. Alright. So when you turn it on, after you have it in developer mode, this is what's going to happen. It's going to say OS verification is off, which is in developer mode. I do have write protection disabled. I got that screw out. It's really important you have that off to do anything. You want to not press space. You want to hit Control D again to boot into developer mode. So this is what's going to happen. As I've said, I already have the USB flash drive set up for installing Linux, and I do have the script from Mr. Chromebox on the flash drive. Once you get to the screen, you want to make sure you're on the internet. Make sure you log into the internet. You're not going to be able to get anywhere if you don't have internet. What you're going to want to do is you're going to hit Control F2. Though the Chromebox don't have F2, it's going to be this little right arrow key. You're going to hit Control this. Try. Don't want to work. How's going on? That's odd. It just worked a minute ago. This computer's acting funny. Let's try something real quick. Oh man, I don't know what's going on here. Alright, let's try logging back out. Let's try this again. This is odd. I do not know what's going on. Chroma boot mode. So let's go from a utility script. I want to read something real quick. I wonder why it's doing that. It's red. It's being odd. Control Alt F2. There we go. I was hitting Control Alt F2. I'm not sure what was going on. So once your flash drive is plugged in, you have everything set up. You've done this before. You know what you're doing. Once you get to this screen, it says you want to run Kronos. You don't want to install it in sudo. It says this script must be run as a normal / non-root user. Running it as root will break things. Do not run sudo su before running the script. CMB below. It gives you some information. This is the actual line you want to type once you get into Kronos in the terminal, in the shell. You want to type this in. cd-curl, or space curl, space, dash, capital L, O, it's not 0, lowercase f, space, Mr. Chromebox.tech, / firmware dash, util dash sh, space, and, space, sudo, space, bash, space, firmware dash, util.sh, and press enter. So we're going to type in Kronos. Remember, this is important that this Chromebox is on the internet. So that's what we're going to go ahead and type, which is going to be kind of hard with one hand. So CD, little colon, not colon, but there we go, that one. It's got the little dot with the little curl. You're going to hit space, CURL, space, capital L, capital O. Oh, no, we gotta do the dash. My bad. Dash, capital L, capital O, F, K. We're going to be space Mr. Chrome book. That's a Chromebook.tech / firmware -util.sh, I think it was. That is correct. Then we're going to go well, space space sudo space bash, if I can spell it right, space firmware .util-sh. So we're going to go ahead and hit enter. That should be the correct line that you got to write in the terminal. And it is. It went to the internet. It's receiving packages over the internet. Bash firmware.util.sh. Oh, I did that wrong. It's not util-sh, it's .sh. My bad. You got to be really careful when you do this, man. Double check, because you could really fuck something up. Alright, let me read this one more time. cd space curl LOFK Mr. Chrome book. Oh, it's Chromebox, that's why. My dumbass. Doesn't help I'm doing this video. Mr. Chromebox.tech /firmware. Alright, now he should be good. 2 errors. Alright, see, there we go. It needs to know where to go and to get the files. Be very careful when you do this, I'm telling you. It's been a long time since I've done this shit too. I was locked up for 2 years. Alright. It went ahead and downloaded the packages from the internet. The script is running. It says Chrome OS device firmware utility script 2025-10-31. So it was recently updated October 31st, the other day. Device, there's his email, mrchromebox@gmail.com. You can message him if you need anything. Device, HP Chromebook 14, board name Falco, platform Intel Haswell, firmware type stock Chrome OS with RW /RW Legacy, firmware version Google Falco 4389-92.0. Recently, well, long time ago, last time this was doing anything was December 9th of 2014. Firmware write protection disabled because I removed that screw, so I should be able to write to it. This is a full UEFI full ROM firmware flash. That's the file I downloaded. I didn't download the install update R-legacy firmware. That's not what I wanted to do. So this is just for fully putting Linux on the system. So it says WP write protection, all these three. That's what that should mean. It says number 2. I should be able hit 2, hit enter. Alright. So that's what we want to do. Number 2, install update UEFI full ROM firmware. It says install update UEFI full ROM firmware. Important: flashing the firmware has the potential to break your device, requiring relatively inexpensive hardware and some technical knowledge to recover. Not all boards can be tested prior to release, and even then the slight differences in hardware can lead to unforeseen failures. If you do not have the ability to recover from a bad flash, you're taking a risk. You have been warned. Also, flashing full ROM firmware will remove your ability to run Chrome OS. Do you wish to continue? Yes, I do. I've done my research. This board is supported. I don't believe I'm going to have any hiccups or problems. It's connected to the internet. The internet is, for the most part, reliable here, so I really believe it's going to be able to fetch the packages and not be corrupt. So we're going to go. We're going to shoot for it. I'm going to hit Y, hit enter. It says, no, after flashing UEFI firmware, you will need to install a UEFI compatible OS. Chrome OS will no longer be bootable. It says, press Y to continue or any other key to abort. So I'm going to hit Y. I have Kali Linux ready to install on this flash drive. If not, it doesn't matter. I can still download any Linux ISO image, reflash it. This is going to install basically a UEFI BIOS. It's basically sending a payload to the actual firmware chip and rewrite to it, so I can turn this into a full-blown Linux laptop. Hit Y, hit enter. It says create a backup copy of your stock firmware. This is highly recommended, and in case you wish to return your device to stock configuration, run Chrome OS, or in an unlikely event that things go south and you need to recover using an external EEPROM manager. Of course, we're going to do a backup in case things do go wrong. So we hit Y, hit M. It says connect the USB SD device to store the firmware backup and press enter to continue. This is non-destructive, but it is best to ensure no other USB devices are connected. I only have one USB device, so we're just going to run it. It says device is available, PNY USB 2.0 FD 28.9 gigabytes. Enter the number for the device to be used for firmware backup. It's going to be 1 because it is 1. We're going to hit enter. Saving firmware backup as stock-firmware Falco 2025 1102.rom. Says firmware backup complete. Remove the USB stick and press enter to continue. Says downloading full ROM firmware from coreboot _edk2-falco-mr chromebox _2025 1013.rom. I'm assuming it's coming from the internet. Persisting device, hardware ID, so it's basically checking for the hardware, making sure it's correct, VPD extractor from current firmware, disabling software write protect, and clearing the WP range. Installing for ROM firmware may take up to 90 seconds. Alright, it says full ROM firmware successfully installed, updated, and import in the first boot after flashing may take substantially longer than subsequent boots, up to 30 seconds or more. Be patient, and eventually your device will boot. Press enter to return to the main menu. So, it should be good. Backup current firmware, flash custom firmware, clear UEFI, NVRAM. I don't think I need to do anything else. Select a numeric menu option or R to reboot. We're going to hit R. Enter rebooting. Nice. That's new. Booting from SATA Samsung, field not found, verified, contains points for a valid 64-bit UEFI. So we're going to put this USB stick back in. Press any key to continue. We're going to hit exit. Mr. Chromebox boot menu. So this is the new boot menu. Firmware version, Mr. Chromebox, Intel Celeron 2950U, 1.4 gigahertz, RAM, 2 gigabytes, boot menu. We're going to go here, boot the USB flash drive. We got Kali Linux. We're going to go ahead, install. English, United States, American English. This is where I'm hoping it sees the USB drive. I didn't have to put it as a disk drive, which I mentioned sometimes you have to. I didn't think it was going to be an issue, so I went ahead and did it. Hopefully everything goes well. So far, so good. Alright, it's going to ask me to look for internet so I can download stuff. We're going to go to Falcon 6, WPA, WPA2, yes, that's what it is. I'm going to type in the internet here. I know the password here by heart. I don't care if people see it. It's free for everyone to see. Get connected. So now it's going to set up the Wi-Fi, the networking chip, all that stuff, make sure everything's good. Everything went through good. It's going to ask me to name this computer, host name, a single word identifies your system to the network. It's going to be called Shitbox. Shitbox. That's the name I picked today. No, we don't need a domain name. I'm not running anything to use a domain name. Full name for the user. Let's go ahead, put retro. That's my nickname, like the shoes. Username for your account. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna put in a password. Y'all can't see this. Red Bull. Nah, you know what? I'm gonna change it. Oh. Asked me to put it in one more time to make sure it is correct. Eastern United States, yep. There is other software to run other than Rufus to make USB bootable, but I prefer Rufus because it's open source, it's free, it don't cost anything, and it gives you a lot more options to go ahead and whatnot. There is another one called Yumi, which I like. If I remember correctly, Yumi is nice because if you download Yumi, you can actually, it gives you options to download Linux distributions. So you don't have to go straight to like the Linux website, distribution website, and fetch it or torrent it. It will go and download it from a repository straight to your computer, which is kind of convenient and nice. So I think that's on Pen Drive Linux or something like that. You can type in YUMI, it'll pop up. So I do need to partition the hard disk. We're just going to go ahead and use guided, use entire disk, because I don't really need to set up any like manual partitions. I want to use the whole drive. It's not very big. It's a solid state, so we're good with that. It's a 16 gigabyte ATA Samsung. That's the one we want to use. The one that's already highlighted. We're gonna hit enter. All files in one partition. Recommended for new users. That's fine. I don't need to do anything else. We're gonna hit enter. So it's gonna format new partitions. It says guided partitioning, configure software RAID, configure the logical volume manager, configure encrypted volumes, configure ISCSI. This is an overview of your currently configured partitions. The mount point, select a partition to modify its settings, file system, mount point, etc. A free space to create partitions or a device to initialize its partition table. Everything looks legit. It's gonna put 902.8 14.3 gigabytes ext4 / that's the newer file system that Linux likes to use. It's going to use 842 megabytes of swap, which is swap. Space is space on the physical hard drive, and it acts as RAM in the sense when the RAM is pulling information and writing and reading, it can use that space basically as more RAM. It puts space, say it puts data on the swap while it's reading, and then it will write. It goes back and forth, but that's just essentially it adds another gig of RAM almost. That's pretty much what it means. Swap. The rest of the stuff you don't really have to worry about. With Linux, you need at least one / root ext4, ext3, and then swap. It's recommended to use 1.5 times the amount of swap space for the RAM you have. So say you have 2, you might want to use 2 gigabytes of RAM. You might want to use 2.5, 3. Most people will do like, say you have 2 gigs of RAM, they'll do like 4 gigabyte swap. I've seen people do like 3 times the amount. So say 2 gigabytes of RAM, they might do 6 gigabytes of swap. You don't need that much. You really don't, but some people do. I usually like just let the system configure it for the most part, unless I have like something specifically I'm working on, like a server or a myriad of other things, you know. It can become complicated, but for the most part, just go ahead and let the operating system do the work for you. It's going to set up what you need. And for me, I only have a 16 gigabyte solid state drive in this Chromebox, so for me, using 3 gigabytes of swap space doesn't make any sense because it takes space away for storage space, data space for me, for software and photos, videos, etc., etc. Finish partition. I can't even talk. Finish partitioning and write changes to disk. We're gonna hit enter. So yeah, just basically saying it's gonna. If you continue, this will destroy all data on partitions you have removed, as well as on the partitions you are going to be formatted. Everything is fine. We're okay with it. Hit yes. It's going to create the partitions, the file systems. Then it's going to go ahead and install the base system. This is all the software that it's installing. So I wouldn't have been able to do this without this Windows laptop or another computer. I literally went to Walmart and got this bad boy from Walmart. It's an HP laptop. It's pink. It was $189 out the door, $190 out the door. It's not much, but it has Windows 11. One, I could afford it at the time, and I needed it so I could start doing computer stuff like fix this, because I wanted a Linux machine. I couldn't do anything with this computer at all besides browse the internet. I couldn't download Chrome extensions or anything because it's been so long outdated. So I got this, and another reason why I got it is one, I could afford it. Two, I can start doing computer stuff. Three, it was made from recycled ocean plastic. All the plastic on this laptop came from the ocean, which was amazing to me. I had to have it. A lot of what I talk about and do and will be doing on YouTube is about the environment and saving it. So please subscribe, comment, share the knowledge. We are destroying and pillaging this earth. If we don't do something soon on a global scale, our kids ain't gonna have a good environment to live in. So it looks like it might be almost done. Let's get in there. The reason why I was okay with them getting this Chrome box and okay with using it is because it's got a solid state drive. It had good enough memory for me to do what I wanted to do with it. So it says at the moment only the core of the system is installed. The default selections below will install Kali Linux with its standard desktop environment and the default tools. You can customize it by choosing a different desktop environment or a different collection of tools. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to install XFCE because it's a very, very light GUI, they call it. It's very, very light. It's designed to run on low-end computers or even high-end computers, but run fast. GNOME and KDE Plasma, that hopefully you can see it well here, they're more of a heavy operating system. I'm okay with XFCE, so we're gonna hit space, which is gonna asterisk it. Collection of tools, selecting this item has no effect. It's already picked. Top 10, the 10 most popular tools. That's fine. Default recommended tools available on the live system. That's fine. So we're gonna hit tab. We're gonna go continue. So now this computer will have the XFCE Kali's default desktop environment. I'm going ahead and it's going to install. It's got 2,669 packages to install. It says about 2 minutes. Thank you, Mr. Chromebox.tech. Without you doing all the work for me, I wouldn't be making these videos. And I probably wouldn't have gone and done this. Is it something I could do? Probably. It would have took me a long time because I would have had to push myself to learn a lot of things. I'm not like, I wouldn't call myself an advanced programmer by any means or developer. I'm more of like a hobbyist type person when it comes to it. I've been pushing myself though to learn more. I do know a lot, but I don't know enough. I know enough to do a lot of cool things, but I do want to learn more. But like I said, I know a lot. But without him, and I'm sure a myriad of people around the globe that have committed their lives in their mom's basement and wherever else in the world, universities and all types of, there's so many different types and personalities and people around the world, different speaking languages that come together on a global scale and develop Linux. And develop for it. So I'm thankful for it because now I'm able to turn a $30 laptop that I bought to help some girl into a full-blown Linux operating system that I'll be able to do a lot of cool stuff with and create some good content for learning purposes. and have fun myself. So thank you, Mr. Chromebox. Appreciate you. Installing operating systems can take some time, especially on a slower computer. It also depends on how big the operating system is, you know. Like if I ran MX Linux on this, or actually MX Linux is a pretty small operating system, but I seen this new operating system. I kind of want to check it out. Excuse me. So let's go back to distro watch. Alright, so down here on the top 100, let me go back one more. There's one, it's called, I think, Mini OS. Yeah, it's called Mini OS. I'm really interested in this operating system. It's number 36 on distro watch as we speak. Yes, this is it. It says Mini OS is a Debian-based Linux distribution which strives to be lightweight, modular, versatile, and customizable. It comes in 3 editions: Standard, Toolbox, and Ultra. Mini OS Standard is a compact system designed for everyday computing tasks, while Toolbox is designed for maintenance, diagnostics, and recovery of computer systems. It provides a rich set of graphical and console tools for working with disks and partitions, network diagnostics and administration, data security, data and password recovery, hardware fault diagnosis and testing, as well as other utilities. Finally, the Ultra variant of Mini OS provides an extensive set of software tools designed both for maintenance and diagnostics of computer systems and for solving a wide range of general office tasks. So then it gives you like lists like homepage, user forums, documentation, screenshots, screencasts, download mirrors, which are basically servers to download the operating system from. And it's got related websites on GitHub, and then a bug tracker for developers. But you can click on mini http://minios.dev. I was checking it out, and the reason why I think I might check this out is because, one, I work on a lot of computers and make money. I like to buy different computers off Facebook Marketplace for dirt cheap, fix them, and then resell them to make money. I fix a lot of people's stuff. People call me all the time, hey, can you fix that? Can you do this? And it seems like something that would run really, really well. And another reason why I was thinking about using it says Mini OS, your pocket Linux, powerful, stylish, and convenient. Imagine all the power and freedom of a desktop Linux that is always at your fingertips, literally in your pocket. Mini OS is a special Debian-based distribution created for those who value mobility, speed, and flawless operation without unnecessary hassle. Work anywhere from any USB drive. Just write Mini OS to a flash drive, plug it into a computer, and your full working environment is ready. No installation, no binding to a single device. Take your files, settings, and favorite programs with you. Forget to save your settings, Mini OS will do it for you. The system carefully saves your data, personal settings, and installed programs directly to your flash drive. Every time you start Mini OS, everything will be just as you left it last time, reliably and predictably on any computer. So it boots as a live operating system, so I can plug it into anybody's computer. I can go into the BIOS, boot straight off the USB, and then I can fix their laptop with the software that I like to use. It says smart design philosophy, exquisite design and pleasing speed. Be proved that performance does not have to sacrifice beauty and convenience. Mini OS features a meticulously crafted design, a modern and intuitive interface. It works incredibly fast, even on the most modest computers, helping you focus on your tasks instead of waiting. A philosophy of simplicity and meaning. Every component in Mini OS exists for an important reason. Nothing superfluous or superfluous. only what you really need for comfortable and efficient work. This does not reduce functionality or a bloated software package, but the perfect balance created for your convenience. Then it says the capabilities, core capabilities, true portability, persistent storage, modular architecture, universal compatibility, supports both modern UEFI and legacy BIOS systems. They have 3 editions, and then it's based off the Debian Foundation, access to vast repositories of proven stability, which means, well, usually that means you can use app package manager. You basically type in app in the command line, or Synaptic Package Manager, you can download that through the terminal, then get a graphical user interface to download all the software packages for the computer. It says ideal use cases: system recovery, mobile workstation, development and testing, experiments, education and training, hardware embedded development. It says embedded development, lightweight platform for low LOT and embedded projects. So security and privacy leave no traces on whole systems, so it can be secure as well. I want to check it out. I've never heard of it. I never used it, but it's in the top 36 of DistroWatch. I've been using DistroWatch since I was like 13, 2003. It's a long time. It tells you, and it's still up and running. It will always be up and running. As long as humans exist, open source software is going to exist. And I believe in open source software because you can freely use it, develop. And here's my theory on open source software. You have to really think about this, right? Microsoft is amazing. I like Microsoft. I do. They've really stepped up their game for developing and whatnot, and they got Xbox, the gaming and whatnot, But when it comes to developing, right? Microsoft, just hear me out. Microsoft pays employees to develop, right, their operating system. So here you are, you got people coming to work developing, right? They're getting paid for it. They're only paying so many people to do this, right? The product's only going to be as good as the money's good. Think about this. Now, here's Linux, right? Linux is developed openly, freely from around the world. So you go from thousands of people developing an operating system like Microsoft that is getting paid, right? To millions of people coming together developing Linux for free out of their kind heart because it's something that they enjoy doing and love and want to contribute to make society better, easier, and thrive. What do you think is going to be better? The operating system that has less people that are being paid, or the operating system that's developed by millions of people, if not billions of people, because we have over 8 billion people on this earth, supposedly, and that those people that are developing freely out of the kindness of their heart, don't you think the operating system, the development of the language, the code is going to be more stable? Yes, it is. So that's why I use Linux. It's that simple. Looks like it's almost done. Says installing GNU PG-utils AMP64. It's almost done. I'm looking forward to this. I've been putting this off for like 2 weeks now. I've been working on the car and planting trees all day from about 9 o'clock. I get up at 6, go to work, get there about 8 o'clock. I sit there till about 8:30, 9 o'clock. I arrive usually at the job site about 9:15 to 9:30, 9:45, no later than 10. And then I work planting trees or whatever it is we're doing until about 2:30, 3 o'clock. I've been leaving, riding my bike to work 10 miles, coming back 10 miles if I can't catch the bus. It failed. I know what I gotta do. I gotta plug in this operating system. So this has gotta come out. This has gotta get plugged in. Alright. We're gonna have to redo this. So we're gonna device USB disk image. We're gonna go ahead, disk image, select ISO image, Kali Linux, open. You know what? We need to read. Let's see. From your utility script. I gotta read a little bit. I think we need to put it on disk drive, but I don't know if I need to put it on GPT or MBR. Disk drive. Trying to figure out where I need to read. It's somewhere around here. That's not it. There we go. Trying to figure out where I need to read. I just read this not that long ago too. You know what? MBR stands for Master Boot Record. I think we might want to do UEFI non-CSM. I'm gonna hit GPT UEFI non-CSM. Okay, Linux, that's fine. FAT32, that's fine. We're gonna go ahead and try it with GPT UEFI. And then we're gonna write, instead of in ISO image mode recommended, we're gonna write in disk drive image mode. It says this image you have selected is an ISO hybrid image. This means it can be written either in ISO image file copy mode or DD disk image mode. Refresh recommends using ISO image mode so you always have full access to the drive after writing it. However, if you encounter issues during boot, you can try writing this image again in disk drive mode. We're going to go OK. Also, while I was installing the Kali Linux operating system on the disk drive, when I downloaded the ISO image, my antivirus on here was going nuts. If you look through all of these, I have threat restored. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 viruses it was trying to remove. So those files were stored in the ISO image, and I was using that ISO image trying to write it to the USB drive. So one of those files could have been corrupt because the virus scanner Windows Defender tried to quarantine it, contain it, and remove it. I restored it. But Rufus could have been trying to use that same file, writing it to the disk drive, while the virus scanner, Windows Defender, was trying to quarantine it. So it's likely that that could have been an issue too. So now that all the files are restored, hopefully it isn't an issue, and then we're doing this. So sorry about the long video. Until I get everything together and get more stuff together, have more money, time, I will be able to edit videos and record them on my screen and whatnot. I'll have stands for cameras, microphones, you name it. As of right now, we're doing everything like this, just with the phone recording. You gotta start from somewhere, and that's why it's called RockBottom-Wisdom. I'm starting from scratch. I lost everything, and I'm slowly rebuilding. Again, this is my 4th time rebuilding my life, so yeah. Sorry for the inconvenience. The only person I can blame, though, is myself. Because I allowed people to take advantage of me and go around people that lied. Yeah, stay away from people that lie. Follow your gut. And be careful telling people the truth. When you tell people the truth, who they are, they don't like it. But it felt good. It felt good to tell that person who they were. Like most of my family. It felt real good. It lifted a lot of weight off my shoulders. Off my heart. I'm thankful I did. It's starting to get cold out here. I parked my car right here underneath the window. I've been leaving the window open so I can hear if somebody's trying to break into it, hopefully. And it's literally parked right underneath the cameras. So I like it right there. People are less likely to go around it, try to break into it with the cameras. And then there's a pole right here by the driver's side. A big ass, brick pole that supports this upstairs, the building. So it's less likely for someone to park next to my car on that side and hit it. And nobody ever really parks over here, so it's less chance of my car getting hit. This takes a while to do. It does. Writing image 40.9%. I'm gonna go ahead and abort the installation. I should actually just wait for this to be done, plug it back in, and go ahead and try to install. And install the base system. Where I had a problem was install the grub bootloader. This is where I'm having issues. So I should be able to plug it back in and hopefully install the grub bootloader, because it'll have the correct information, the correct files, which I'm going to try that first. Otherwise, I'll have to redo everything, and then the video will be a lot longer than an hour. I wonder if anybody's even going to watch this video all the way through. It's going to take a long time to upload too. This will be my longest video. I don't like that heater. It gets real hot in here fast too. Though I do have it on 80. But if I don't have it on 80, I put it on 72. It constantly kicking on, kicking off. Clicking on, clicking off. Clicking on, clicking off. If I leave it on 80, it stays on. I was thinking about taking this cover off and getting some oil and oiling up the fan, but I don't want to break it trying to get the cover off, and it's not my responsibility. And hopefully I'm not here much longer. I should be here a few months though. It's going to take me a minute to stack up enough money, get a second job, and find a house. I really want to buy or rent a house. I really want to buy a home, but it's going to take a while. I'm better off renting a home, because I can get a garage and then I can do car work in my backyard, buy and sell cars, part them out, flip them, and that will be a lot of the money that I put up. It's going to be a while until I can monetize YouTube. Hopefully my YouTube channel, RockBottom-Wisdom, starts gaining traffic. I mean, people have been subscribing. What's frustrating is when somebody subscribes and unsubscribes. It is what it is. If they don't want to subscribe or keep the subscription, which is free, I don't want my YouTube in the feed anyways. See, if I had a better laptop, this would go a lot faster. Like an i3, i5, i7, which eventually I will pick up a nice business laptop or gaming laptop. I don't know if I want to go with like Alienware or Asus or like a Dell XPS or something. I'll usually stick with Dell. I really like Dell XPSs. They've been good computers. I've had Toshibas, tons of HPs, a few compacts over the years, Lenovo's. I really like IBM Lenovo ThinkPads. They're really good computers. And I like the way their keyboards are set up. Their keyboards are really springy. Like, the design of the laptop has never changed, but they always use current hardware. And that's what I like about them. They're really rugged computers. Which eventually, when I get the sailboat and I start fixing it up, I'm going to be doing a lot of cool stuff. And I got to design a networking system, a wire harness that will communicate with all my weather devices, GPS devices, cameras and all that stuff, and I'll be doing a lot of Linux stuff and using Windows and Mac. So I'm going to be using those 3 operating systems all within a local network that I create on a sailboat. So that'll be really cool stuff to be doing, and I'll be working on, and I think a lot of people will be intrigued and watch and contribute, give me advice, and maybe even help me while I go on this adventure of mine. So it's already been 10 minutes and it's 87.6% done. Good thing my virus scanner hasn't popped up and quarantined any files, so I really believe that was one of the issues. So some of the files were probably corrupt, but I decided to do GPT, UEFI, non-CSM, and set it up as a disk drive image. Mr. Chromebox.tech did say if you run into any issues using Rufus, to use Rufus to install the USB bootable from your ISO image, whether with Windows or Linux, and if you run into any issues, to use the disk drive option, because it allows the script, the BIOS that was installed on the Chromebook, more compatibility. So we'll see. So this is what you see right here is loaded into RAM right now. So that's a good thing. Alright, so it is done. We're going to hit close. Let's see. Let's just see. I want to make sure it removes safely. It doesn't show up on the computer. It doesn't. So it has removed safely. I'm going to go ahead, plug it in. Alright. And didn't work. Abort the installation. Sorry about the long video. Alright. Press any key to continue. We're gonna hit. This is a shell. So if you wound up here by mistake, just type exit to return to menu. If I can type correctly. Alright. Boot menu again. Back to the flash drive. Alright, let's try this again. Man, it would be nice to have a stand so I could just not hold this phone. Shit box. Enter my password. Eastern. I'm over here watching Disney movies. Freeform is playing Disney movies for 30 days straight, all of November. So I've just been leaving it on. I watched Aladdin yesterday. Then what else? I was watching Beauty and the Beast and passed out last night. Failed to partition the system's probably because like this free space is too small. Oh, there we go. That would help. I selected the wrong one. I was like, don't tell me I'm running into issues again. Make sure you leave your computer plugged in when you do this stuff. Especially if it's a laptop. Also, when you're using laptops, don't leave the computer plugged in all the time. That's how you fuck up your battery. Use the battery as much as you can and don't let it completely die. Try to charge it around 10%, 20%. Don't let it get below anywhere between 10 and 20%. It's not good for the battery. And whenever you get a new device, make sure you completely charge it first, the very first time, before you start using the battery. It will prolong the life of the battery. Try not to leave it on the bed when you're using it. Try to keep it on a flat surface or some type of cooling station or one of those lap things if you're always using it. Let the fan breathe. It's a very, very good thing to do when you have laptops. People always get laptops, they leave them plugged in, then the battery gets bloated. They wonder why the laptop won't hold the charge. Same thing with the phone. Anything with a battery, do those things. Like if you go to bed, I know a lot of people plug in their phone and then charge it while they're sleeping. I understand it's a habit, but try to plug it in like an hour before you go to bed and then go ahead and unplug it when it's charged before you pass out. Or maybe set an alarm. Set an alarm for like an hour after you go to sleep while you leave it plugged in so you can unplug it. Don't leave it plugged in overnight. Though a lot of devices these days, they have a controller chip inside the phone or laptop to shut off when the battery is fully charged. But if you're using an aftermarket charging base or not the right one, I don't recommend it. Always try to use the cord that came with the phone or a name brand cord if you can, and the charging box that came with it. Like say if your phone is 5 volt 3 milliamps, use, or 3 amps, use the 3 amp one. If you do have an aftermarket one, try to make sure that that's what your phone needs. It's not hard to Google your device, figure out what kind of device you have, get on the internet, and then Google the device and figure out what kind of power ratings it needs, and then use that information to buy or find a charging block. You know, a lot of charging blocks, like the ones I have, are 6 amps, which the newer phones can handle that. But if you got an older phone and you plug in a 6 amp and it does 2 amps, it's not good. What you really have to worry about, though, is not the amps, it's the volts. When you start overvolting things, that's when you start really kind of fucking up the device itself and the battery. Hopefully you guys see this. I'm not holding the phone all fucked up. If it is, I apologize. It's what I got right now. And I'm using the front facing camera. I've been meaning to use the back camera, but I like to, show my face, whatnot, talk. It's awkward using the big camera. This one will be one long ass video. I doubt anybody watches it all the way through. Who knows? If you watch this video all the way through, comment, let me know that you've watched it all the way through, that you've made it this far. It really surprised me. If you've watched it all the way through and comment, I'll be your best friend. Especially if you subscribe because of this video. That'd be awesome. I'd really appreciate it. It would help me out a lot. I've noticed too, like a lot of these videos you go across on YouTube, and they show you how to install operating systems or work on computers. They always cut out all this stuff and they just edit it and show all the important stuff, which I get why they do it. A lot of people don't have the attention spans and don't want to watch all this stuff, but you know what? I think it's a cool thing to do it like this because it shows people your personality and they get to know who you are, You get to connect on a different level. And that's mostly why I do YouTube. I'm hoping to meet people that are like-minded, that are interested in the same things, and as I travel and connect, especially when I start sailing, I meet people around the world that we can do cool things and contribute, Maybe they're running a YouTube channel as well, and we can help each other, get some cool things recorded and share with the world. That'd be awesome. It's one of the probably top 5 ultimate goals of having the YouTube channel is meeting really, really cool individuals, women and men, all around the world in all different speaking languages. I've been really pushing myself to learn new languages as well. I know a little bit of Arabic. I know very little Spanish, Polish, and that's about it. I'd like to learn some Japanese, Chinese. They say Chinese is Mandarin is probably the hardest language to learn. And the reason why I wanted to learn Mandarin and Spanish mostly is because Mandarin is the number one speaking language around the world, believe it or not. And two, it's the number one spoken language on the ocean. The second most spoken language on the ocean is Spanish. And I want to get my ham radio license, so in order to really be a ham radio operator, you really need to learn another language other than English. Especially if you want to communicate with different vessels, ocean-going vessels in the ocean as you travel. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and you need to talk to somebody, relay some information, whether it's an emergency or weather conditions or whatever it is, you can't understand what people are saying over the ham radio or relay information to somebody that can't speak English, you can be in a really tough situation if those are the only people around that speak those languages. So it's very, very good to at least know the basics of each one. So I will be taking the time to learn a lot of that. I really hope this goes well. If it don't, I'm gonna cry. Not literally, but I'm gonna be hurt. Almost 2 hours of video. Hour and 22 minutes so far. It's nice to actually have the time to do this and not be exhausted. That's why I've been pushing it off, the car and everything else going on, work and whatnot. Lib Wireshark. Wireshark is basically a networking program to do port scanning and to sniff packets being sent over the Ethernet or Wi-Fi. It's a very, very handy tool for networking. It's probably the best one when it comes to tracking data that's being sent over the Ethernet and or Wi-Fi. Whether the data is encrypted or unencrypted, it will scan the individual packets that are being sent across, being transmitted. You can do a lot of good things with Wireshark, and you can do a lot of malicious things with Wireshark as well. But it's a good handy tool if you know how to use it. This is why I like using Kali Linux, because it has a lot of networking stuff, like AirCrackNG, you name it, it has it. Already pre-installed right out the box. I don't have to sit there and download and compile each individual app and then install it. And because it's already pre-installed, it's already designed to work with this operating system. So like say I download AirCrackNG on a Windows system, the drivers that are being used for the Wi-Fi, AirCrackNG won't be able to put it in air monitoring mode and be able to collect data over the Wi-Fi. So therefore, because Linux is open source, it's developed freely, the drivers that are installed with Kali Linux are already pre-configured to put most of the Wi-Fi cards that are supported with AirCrackNG into air monitoring mode. which then allows you to do a lot of neat networking stuff with Wi-Fi. But these days, with like hack5.org, they develop and design a lot of cool devices you can use for a lot of computer stuff, like the Wi-Fi Pineapple. Basically, the Wi-Fi Pineapple can do all of that itself, which comes in handy. It has a lot of scripts. You plug it in. You can log into it through the Wi-Fi. You can plug it into your laptop. You can log into it through the USB cord, and you can do a lot of cool stuff with the Wi-Fi Pineapple. If you're into like Wi-Fi networking and whatnot and all that stuff, check out hack5.org. I've learned a lot from hack5.org. Hack5.org. I've learned a ton from them, and I'm thankful for them. I've learned a lot from Darren Kitchen. I like his personality. He's intelligent. He loves Linux. He moved from New York to the San Francisco Bay Area a long time ago, and he runs Hack5 along with a bunch of different members. So check him out if you're into computers and the installation field. Man, select install software.